Hey, welcome back, Voodooers. Hey, today what we're going to do is we're going to do a fuel pump replacement on a 1999 GS300. Posted a picture of that before so you can kind of see what body style that is. I believe it's the same between the 97 and 2003. Checking all data, taking a look. The fuel pump is located up underneath the back seat. So what you have to do is to remove the back seat, is put your hand up underneath the bottom of the seat here. There's going to be a clip retainer on both sides that you have to pull the pieces of metal bar out of the retainer clips. And then of course there's 3 bolts that holds on the cover, and then I believe there's 8 bolts or 10 bolts that is on holding the fuel pump assembly down. Now we do have to replace the pump out of the assembly, and we'll get to that later, but for right now let's go ahead and get this cover off. I got the back seat out. Let's go ahead and get this cover off and go ahead and get the fuel pump out. All right, starting off, there's going to be 3 bolts. There's 1, 2, and there's 3, and they're going to be all 10mm bolts to take off this lid that holds the electrical connector. After this lid is removed, you take and remove that electrical connector, which is just a pinch clip. Depress here, and then you'll be able to pull that off. Second is going to be the fuel pressure line, and you're going to need to get a pick and work the lock clip off. Be gentle, don't break this. You're going to reuse this to put it back on. Who knows how hard those are to find. Once you remove that off the top of the fuel pump, then you're able to remove the 8 bolts around the fuel pump module, the lid cover that is, and I believe it's 8 bolts on there. You can count them yourself if you like, and maybe 9, I don't know, but just take those off. Once we remove those, then you're able to remove the fuel pump. And then as you remove the fuel pump, be careful, there's some type of return line that goes back into the fuel pump. That is just a pinch clip. Slide it down and then remove that hose off very carefully, because you don't want to break that. Now on these fuel pumps, there's no way that I can get a fuel pump module assembly, so what we have to do is we have to change the internal pump out of this setup. So that'll be the next video. I'm gonna go ahead and take it to the house because we're here at the customer's house. All right, so look, here's a fuel pump. It's look like it's going to be a total of 3 clips that's going to hold it. Get yourself a pick or something like that. Since it's been submerged in fuel for a while, this plastic sometimes can get pretty brittle. So what we want to do is there's one here, and then also one here. I'm going to remove the one here closest to the return. So I think I have that one unclipped. Kind of go up underneath it like so. Kind of give this one a little tug. Okay, I can feel it move like it was doing something there. Now we go to this side, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here on the corner, and we should just be able to pull this part down, and that should be, there we go. And there's a bottom retainer. Then of course we have to remove the rubber seal, and of course you don't have to remove the strainer in order to remove the fuel pump. So what we're going to do is we're just going to wiggle this around a little bit and try to pull this fuel pump right out. Disconnected the harness from inside using my handy dandy pick, and then I was able to maneuver the fuel pump out. I didn't worry about taking off the strainer because we're replacing the whole pump and strainer itself. There's also going to be an O-ring with this one that you hope that comes out. If not, you have to retrieve it out of the bottom of the fuel pump. Positioning the strainer on, there is a little metal clip that holds the strainer on. Want to hold that. Also keep your hands clean, your area clean. Make sure nothing gets on that. Also, the O-ring pedestal that came off of the O one, I like keeping things simple and bathe the way it was. It wouldn't go on, so I had to take a pair of snips and snip off the edge a little bit on this side so that it sits flush on the fuel pump. Next step is we're going to take the harness, plug it up to our new fuel pump. and we're in on that. So what we want to do is as we pull this up, take the wires, get them out of our way, so that way they're out of the way. That's why it's nice to have a pick around. And with that O-ring pedestal that we have in there, we should be able to feel the O-ring go in. Boom. And that pedestal's holding it nice and tight. Doesn't want to come out. Okay. What we then want to do is put on our shock absorber or vibration pad. Remove the old pad, that is. And then we want to replace the bottom retainer. So after putting the fuel level sensor back in, I think it's ready to go back in, ladies and gents. So new fuel pump, new strainer in the old same assembly module. Let's get it back in for the customer. All right, so the car's running. Obviously I have the pump in. Everything's been tightened down. I say a successful job. Like I said, only thing about it is removing the seat, disconnecting the battery, also removing these 3 10mm bolts, the 8mm bolts, also the return hose from the fuel pump, getting it out, of course disconnecting all those clips and everything on the fuel pump assembly, and then after that installing. I just want to say that I thought it was a great job, easy job, smooth. Everything went a little easier than what I thought and expected, besides the fuel pump being set in the assembly. So until next time, Voodoos, I appreciate you come out. Please like, subscribe to the video, share the video if you know somebody with a Lexus GS300, 97 to a 2003, and they need a fuel pump replacement or just doing preventive maintenance and replacing the fuel pump before they get caught, you know, in the situation of a fuel pump failure. So until next time, guys, we'll catch you on the rebound. Talk to you soon.